My name is Glenn Murphy. I am one of two presenters of this video series on how to market and harvest your woodlot for profit. My co-presenter in this video series is Dr. Reen Visser from the University of Canterbury. In video 3, we will cover why it is important for the woodlot owner to have a good understanding of what is in the woodlot and how this information can be obtained. The purpose of the video is not to train you in how to carry out a forest inventory. That is a job for a professional forestry consultant. Let's start with a comment from a woodlot owner and why it is important to have good information on how much volume and value you have in your woodlot.
Marketing side was obviously seen as critical by the group, so we wanted to get a professional in, because having grown a stand of trees for 25 or so years, it was important to get the most out of it. And we thought engaging a professional who's familiar with the markets and familiar with the harvest crews and the various resource consents and requirements, etc., that need to be dealt with, it would make sense to actually employ somebody to do that. So we got estimates in from several different groups to see how they compared, and we just assessed those as a group. Prior to that, though, we had already done a pre-harvest inventory, because we felt that we wanted to know ourselves, having some forestry experience, how much our woodlot was worth in our view, and then we could have a valid way of assessing the different proposals that came in from potential providers.
What you have in your woodlot in terms of volume and value can be expressed in a few equations. Total volume is equal to the area of the woodlot multiplied by the volume per hectare. Volume per hectare is equal to the sum of the volumes of all the log products that can be cut from each hectare. Harvesting operations can cut 15 or more log products from a forest. We will look at log product specification shortly. Similar to total volume, total value is equal to the area of the woodlot multiplied by the value per hectare. And the value per hectare is equal to the sum of the price that will be paid for each log product multiplied by the volume of each log product. So to determine what you have in your woodlot and its potential value, you or your agent needs to know how big your woodlot is, have an understanding of log product specifications, and good knowledge of the price differentials for different log grades. At this point, we will add that income earning opportunities and obligations under the New Zealand Emissions Trading Scheme, or ETS, can also affect the value of woodlots. ETS is outside the scope of this video series, however. Specialist help from forest management consultants should be sought to understand your obligations at the time of harvest. The most accurate way to obtain the area of a woodlot is to employ a land surveyor. However, online tools such as Google Maps make measuring area relatively easy. You can use the measure distance feature to trace the boundary of your woodlot. Once you return to the starting point on the boundary, area is automatically calculated. There are a number of YouTube videos that show how to measure areas using Google Maps. Anyone with a post-1989 woodlot registered in the Emission Trading Scheme can use their ETS maps as a relatively accurate guide to net stocked area. Some regional councils may also be able to provide maps. Selection of the right sets of log products to be cut from each woodlot is crucial to its profitability. The markets for radiata pine and Douglas fir logs are more established than those for other species. As a result, the range of log products is wide, and log product specifications are detailed and complex and can differ in different regions. Log product specifications will include such features as acceptable log lengths, small end diameter limits, branch size limits, permissible log sweep or log curvature, presence of stain, rot, damage, and deformities on the stem, centrality of the pith, roundness of the stem, etc. This table provides a few examples of log prices that were relevant to some North Island forest operations in mid-2019. They relate to prices at the wharf gate or mill gate. You can see that there are large differences in prices between log grades. From these prices, the woodlot owner will have to subtract all of the costs for marketing, harvesting, and transporting logs to the customers. Prices for many log products are changing weekly. The profitability of your woodlot can be altered substantially by being aware of these changes and altering the set of products to be cut from your woodlot or the timing of harvest to suit. As an example of the effect that price changes can have, a woodlot harvested in June 2019 would have been worth 6% more than the same woodlot harvested in June 2020, when the prices of most log grades were down substantially. Assessing the potential yield of logs of various specifications is a very important step in determining the revenue that will be generated from harvesting your woodlot. A number of approaches can be used. One is using a graduated eyeball based on years of experience to estimate the volume per hectare and then apply likely percentages to determine the volume in each log grade. For all but the very smallest woodlots, this approach is not recommended. Another is to use the average volume from nearby harvested woodlots and again apply likely percentages to determine the volumes in each log grade. This approach is only useful if the age of the trees and the treatment they have received is the same as those from your woodlot. A third approach is to use a growth and yield model, such as the forecaster model on FGR's website. To make the best use of this approach, you need good records of the types and timing of treatments that your woodlot has received over its history. A more professional assessment will include a formal pre-harvest inventory, or PHI, based on detailed measurements of a sample of representative trees. Careful design of the inventory is required. In big forest blocks, one plot per 1 or 2 hectares may be sufficient. In small woodlots, it is likely that the same number of plots in total would be required, which may equate to 3 or 4 plots per hectare. The cost ranges from $100 to $300 per plot, which will depend on such things as the terrain, undergrowth conditions, number of plots to be measured, etc. Plus, there will be the cost of analysing the data and preparing a report. Using PHI data, tree growth can be simulated so that you can explore the option of leaving the trees to grow on for a few more years if the market is down. A forestry consultant or harvesting and marketing specialist will be able to tell you where to find a good forest measurement crew. Most pre-harvest forest inventories in New Zealand today use the plot-safe overlapping feature method for describing the stems within each plot. First, diameter at breast height and tree height are measured. Then the cruiser assesses where branch size changes up the stem. Then sweep is assessed. Finally, the location of other features such as broken tops, scarring, rot, and forks are recorded. Tree measurement requires skill and training. This is an example of user-defined stem quality codes for use in plot-safe cruising. The tree data, along with information on log product specifications and prices, are then entered into forest inventory software. The software then determines the combination of logs that gives the highest total value from each tree. The results are indicative of yields and values that can be obtained by well-trained and motivated logging operators. This table gives an example of the type of report generated by YTGen forest inventory software. Among other things, it provides estimates of the total recoverable volume per hectare, the possible error in volume estimates due to measuring only a sample of stems, log yields for each grade, the amount of wood likely to be left on site due to felling breakage and processing waste, and the total value per hectare. If you would like more information on measuring woodlots, this can be found in Bulletin 217, How Much Wood Has Your Woodlot Got?, which was published by the New Zealand Forest Research Institute. This concludes video 3. Now that you know how to determine what you have in your woodlot, go to video 4, where we will look at how to go about selling what you have got. If you have any questions, please direct these to the email link shown below.